Hello the internet, it's me again, Nervous Test Pilot, and I'm here to go through a little bit more of the track I was working on last time, Our Heroes. Now, as we pan gloriously around to my monitor, I did get some questions last time about the Absinthe patch that I was using for the lead in the first part of the song. So let's take a bit of a look at that. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Absinthe patches all layered together. And I'm just going to solo this out and play it. So that gives you the idea. So, I mean, this really is actually very simple. All I've done is I've got various different Absinthe presets here. So let's have a look at that. This one's called Iron Current. It's just a kind of keyboardy thing. Let's take a listen to this layer here. A little plucky thing. Much bigger, splashier sound. And a weird kind of flangey, phasey, clappy thing. On the bus I've got some waves doubler, which is good for spread, and some compression and just a bit of shelving there. So all in all that sounds like this. And that sits pretty nicely over the whole thing. I'm just going to run this from the top and I'll go through anything interesting that happens. Okay, so this ambient section, again, that's a lot of different Absinthe things. I'm using Absinthe for bass actually in this, which is a little bit unusual. Let me see if I can find that. Where's that gone? Yeah, verb bass, here we go. So that's just a sort of deep bass sound. I've got some isotope Iris here doing this pad, and this I think is based on a glass sample. Iris is really good, it has a cool GUI as well. It's good for these kind of weirdo spectral sounds. It's got a really nice distinctive sound to it. So that's basically all that's going on there. And then we've got a lot, in this part we've got a lot of different effects, sweeps and swoops and things. Plain noise is not necessarily included, that's just outside my house. That's just a V-station noise swoop with a lot of reverb going up there. So this loop is mostly unchanged. Got some little, couple of little hi-hat loops there. That big addictive drums thing, a nice big layered kick, some orchestral hit from Goliath, piano with a filter on it from Goliath. That's just IRC being annoying and pinging me, so we'll stop that sound happening. That's the main part of the intro section. Now the chorus. Not too much change from the previous time, still keeping that virus lead very prominent, having some string sounds in there as well, and just the rest of the elements. I added this little loop just to give it a bit of pace. In fact, it should be shelved a bit higher than that. Just to keep it going a little bit. Now, in the section that follows, I kind of backed off that acid line a bit, so it's much more of an incidental detail. And this comes back again with this kind of mini moog type sound from Silent later on, so you can hear that I kind of blended it a bit more. It's a really nice patch by Arc Sun. Oh yeah, I added a little bit of a drum fill. Let's see if I can find it. This is what I call a Ronnie Size fill because it's a filter sweep drum loop, and it goes. It's kind of a really old school jungle style filter, and as you can see I'm using a bandpass for that. I really like that sound, and it's kind of underused these days. I like these really old school sounds. Here's a little chiptune blip I made. Just a very short delay time and V station doing that, lots of delay. Yeah, here's a drum fill. This is Addictive Drums, and it's really simple, but it adds so much to this kind of track. It just takes you out of that 8 section. In the middle now I've added this breakdown, and I've done some effects by manipulating this drum loop using the texture warp technique and changing the grain size. So you can hear as I go along this, that's actually altering the grain size, and it's creating those metallic sort of flangey things, and then I've got a high pass filter on that as well. And that just makes some nice texture for this breakdown. Some more loops in the breakdown now. That's just an impulse with a few drums in it. Nice filter delay preset on that to give that metallic sound. And then straight back into the chorus. Now to come out of the chorus I've added this sound, which is just actually a copy of this patch, but with some bit reduction on it, and that just sits on top. Quite nice. And then at the end I decided to layer that with the mini moog sound. There we go, that's the end, and here's that little vocal lick which has some auto pan on it from 8DO Barbary that I mentioned before, and auto pan is there. And that's pretty much it for this. I really wanted to make something that was kind of a bit like the Frozen Synapse music, something which was sort of a little bit slower and had some more detailed stuff in it, and I think I've done it with this, but also trying to keep that sort of epic excitement level high, and bring in a bit of that sort of sportsy, montagey thing as well. So I hope I've achieved that with this. I'm going to probably just be tweaking this around, taking some parts out, mixing it a bit better. The drums don't quite sit in the way that I want. They normally need to punch through the mix a bit more, so I've got to do a bit more work on that. The bass is also a little bit light in some places, so I may need to put a sub in or just sort of beef up the low end of the very lowest part of the bass with some EQ and compression. Having said that, it's all gone pretty well, so I will be moving on fairly soon to another track, and I'll be posting more videos and more clips. You can listen to this on my SoundCloud as well. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to me on SoundCloud to get this stuff as I put it up. Thanks.